decades, especially after 1990, India and China tried to strengthen their relationship, and as a result of that, the Free Tibet movement declined. We didn't see much of support, we didn't see much of popularity for the movement in the country or elsewhere. Do you think with the new dynamic that is surfacing between India and China?
Now, yes.
Yeah. Do you think that now Free Tibet movement has arrived at a critical point in its political history?
See, your question first, I want to say there was some decline. Life is such up and down is part of life. Something goes up, something goes down. But the Tibetan issue and Tibetan cause is not dying, it's not dead. It's a very alive thing. Tibet is a nation, it's a culture, it's a special nation, special culture, special race, distinctively very important for the whole world. So it must have gone up and down. That is law of nature, no problem. But it's not dead. Now suddenly it is coming up because of this COVID and little tension between India and China. At the same time, we are not excited about it. It's coming into news, no problem, little high up. But if we are constantly, Tibetans are constantly, Dalai Lama has a word in Tibetan, muthut. Muthut means continuity. He says keep it continuity. So Tibet is a generation coming for last 2000 years. It's an old nation. So this small turmoil up and down is a small shade in the whole journey. I think the Tibetan cause will remain always strong till some conclusion comes to it.
Since you are the coordinator and the convener of this free, for the
Free
Tibetan,
Tibet, yeah, North
Free
India,
Tibet,
yes.
yeah, North India. What are the activities that you envision for this movement in future? What are the ideas that you can bring in for the new generations, for the new youth in India, for example, who are not aware about Free Tibet movement or aware about the Tibetan community in exile at all?
See, every Indian should know it, and they will know it, that Tibet is culturally Indian mind. The entire Tibetan psychology is Indian. It came from Nalanda. So the Tibetans have kept the Indian Nalanda tradition alive. So it is the responsibility of every Indian to keep this Tibet issue alive. I always say Tibet and India is two different nations with one nation with different names. You see, India is very huge. When Buddha came on this earth, the whole Asia became a Buddhist world. Even China was a Buddhist country. Even today, China is a Buddhist country. So if India wants to really grow and get established into its own culture, the whole every neighbor should be helped. China, even China is a Buddhist country, we should help them through compassion. So I think every Indian should know about Tibet. Every Indian should know about the tradition of Nalanda. Every Tibetan Indian should know that Khalji, he burnt this Nalanda for 6-8 months. All those scriptures is with the Tibetan people today alive. Dalai Lama is a living example of tradition. So I think it is the responsibility of Indian government, Indian people to keep the Tibet issue and Tibet culture alive, not harming China or anyone. We don't want to do anything aggressive against China or any other neighbor. We don't want to sort of expand ourselves. Yes, India should expand and export only compassion, love, karma, ahimsa, paramo dharma. So I think Tibet is like a arm, like the right arm of India.
How will you mobilize youth in India or for that matter in the rest of the world to popularize this movement?
See, I'm a very small individual, how can I mobilize? But I can put my effort, It's happening. There are singers, artists, everybody's talking, including you. You are in Ladakh to interview me because it's mobilizing. Tibet is a just issue. It's not a dead issue. China or anybody cannot just keep eyes closed and say Tibet issue is gone. No, Tibet issue is alive and it's gaining momentum. And the world needs Tibetan wisdom. World needs people like Dalai Lama. In fact, I tell for India, for China, and people who are, they should take Dalai Lama into confidence and get his wisdom. And I'm in fact telling even India also, to China also, resolve this when Dalai Lama is alive. Because once Dalai Lama is physically not here, it's not going to be easy thing to handle Tibetans also. They might take any extreme steps. And Tibetans are very, very strong nation. It's a nation.
What do you mean by free Tibet? What is the vision for free Tibet? If ever it becomes an independent nation, what would it look like?
So I go by Dalai Lama's vision. He says Tibet should become a zone of peace. The Kailash is there, the Mansarovar is there, the international biggest rivers are there. More than half of population of the world is dependent on Tibetan glacier water. Tibet is already giving so much to the world. Tomorrow, if Tibet is free, even if Tibet is not free, Tibet is an autonomous body, it should become a peaceful place from where all the river flows. See, this is river Indus. This river is coming from Kailash Mansarovar. And India got name from this river, Indus. This is Sindhu. Tibet is already giving glacier water to the whole world. It is the third pole. Scientists say it is the third pole. So we have to save Tibet economically, environmentally, religiously, culturally. The world needs Tibet. If Tibet is gone, third pole is gone. If Tibet is melted, the whole Asia is going to be hungry. It is the responsibility of the Asian countries and the whole world, even Chinese, please preserve Tibet as it is. It's a huge problem. If you deteriorate Tibet, the world, the globe will get deteriorated. We have to be sensitive about it, And now Chinese have just cut all the trees in Tibet, getting all the extracting everything from nature. That's why we have COVID. What is this COVID? Because we play with the nature, and that's why we have this unseen germ which is making us to keep away. It's in a way we should learn from this. Tibet has to be saved by the world. It's not only Ladakhi and Tibet and save us. Oh, if you want to be healthy, save Tibet. If you want to have clean water, save Tibet. All these Asian countries, Burma, Indonesia, half of the Chani, the water goes from Kailash Mansarovar.